This is the Iraqi province of Diyala. The Americans believe that Al-Qaeda in Iraq has moved its base of operations here, and until recently, most of the province was in the hands of Sunni insurgents. I've come to see the US Army's troop surge in action. Since last November, the troops here have suffered more casualties than any other US unit in Iraq. More than 80 dead.
Putting a number on casualties and using it as a soundbite doesn't really work. What matters is the achievements of all of the soldiers during their time here.
This is US Army footage of Operation After an intense firefight, the soldiers arrested 8 suspected insurgents and released men they had imprisoned and beaten.
Our task is to clear, our purpose is to destroy enemy safe haven. We'll be touching down 147 on LZ
Officers
Whiskey.
from the 1st Cavalry and the 82nd Airborne are now preparing a major operation to clear insurgents from the Diyala River Valley.
The hallmark of this organization has been discipline and violence of action. Okay? That is what's going to get us through this mission. We're not going to abuse detainees, we're not going to abuse civilians, we're going to kill people that need to be killed, and we're going to frickin' be decent to the rest of the people that don't need to be killed. There's no in between. You either kill them, or you treat them with dignity and respect.
We've always struck the enemy where he's least prepared, right at his heart where he thinks he's safe. And now we're resourced for the success we expect to meet. We're going to fight this battle like we've done before. This is critical. That's all I have. Right now, troops need a leader. It's going to be you. Lua? Airborne, gentlemen.
All right, CSS rehearsal, we're following this.
The plan is simple. Airborne troops go in at midnight, and we follow in a heavily armed convoy. As we cautiously make our way, we hear artillery. To minimise the risk of an ambush, the army is firing shells on either side of the road. With the last vehicle in the convoy, and some of the shells are falling too close for comfort.
They know that our frontline trace is way the fuck ahead of us, right?
We don't have far to travel, but progress is painfully slow. And when day breaks, we're still on the road.
68 Mike Charlie 6813.
The roads around here are frequently mined by insurgents with improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. The convoy includes armoured bulldozers which plough the sides of the road in order to detonate or disable any bombs.
Once they reduce or clear or whatever, then
when IEDs are found on the road ahead, the convoy grinds to a halt.
There's a bunch of wires, but they can't find the origin of the wires. So there's several different ones, and they're not sure what it's connected, what it's exactly connected to.
Sgt Maj Edgar is with the 82nd Airborne.
and their truck is actually on it.
He and his men have been here for a year now, and they know that 70% of all US casualties in Iraq are caused by IEDs.
What they found was a 130mm projectile inside the culvert.
Yep.
And they believe it's daisy-chained to other ones, which is pretty common practice.
Yeah.
It's catastrophic when you drive over it because you'll have 4 or 5 rounds going up with the culvert. Creates a bunch of shrapnel, and so does the asphalt.
So it'll basically kill everybody in the vehicle.
What's that?
It would kill anybody in the vehicle that hit it.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah.
The soldiers have to detonate the IEDs before we can move on.
In your time here, how many men have you lost to IEDs like that?
Say 4. We lost not to that specific type in a culvert, but we lost 4 to a deep buried IED at a different location.
Apart from the IEDs, the soldiers also have to be on their guard for what they call VBIDs, Vehicle-Borne Improvised Explosive Devices, or car bombs. There was a deadly attack on one of the unit's bases here in April this year.
They were in a patrol base and the VBID broke into the patrol base. It was 2 dump trucks full of explosives, detonated and killed 9 men.
It has taken us 15 hours to travel less than 30 kilometres, but we finally reached the village of Hadmaxa.
Hey! Oh! How do you get in here?
The soldiers who arrived by air last night aren't answering the door.
Open the fucking gate!
This abandoned school has become their patrol base. The soldiers are exhausted, having spent the night clearing houses in the village, looking for insurgents. They've already arrested 8 men and found some weapons. Our platoon heads out to continue the job of clearing the village. We have 36 houses to check before dark. The soldiers are on the lookout for booby traps. In the past, whole squads have been wiped out when houses they were searching were blown up.
Hey, Blank, told me to pull security on. One more stop, bitches.
The soldiers identify the inhabitants of each house to make sure they are not on a blacklist of known insurgents. Then they mark their hands with the house number. If the soldiers find them in a different part of the village in the next few days, they will be arrested.
Hey, come here, Howard. Bring him in here. Much. Come sit down for a second.
The soldiers find an AK-47 in this man's house. He's not on their list, but the sergeant is keen to ask him some questions.
All right. Hey, Tom, we know the insurgents are here, right? Because we can see the graffiti and I read it outside, right? Did they all leave? Are they still around? What's the situation? What does he know?
The man says he doesn't know anything. He says he got back from Kirkuk in northern Iraq yesterday, just before the soldiers arrived.
Okay, hey Fergie. Hey, did those people out there get marked?
Alright, this is what I need from him. Tell him I'm going to mark him and his family. I need him to stay around this house for the next 24 hours. Okay? Yeah, hey, tell him don't go around because we got to see every house here. If he goes somewhere to a different part of the neighborhood, I'll arrest him. Hey, can you check my one cat that's with you, and then I'll check these guys with you. Hey, can you check that one personnel I got over there with you and the dog? And if they're good, then I'm off.
The heat is taking its toll on the soldiers. It's around 50 degrees Celsius, and some of the men are suffering from heat exhaustion.
Huh? Can't just get it all out. It's not good for him.
This soldier has been throwing up, and medics have given another 2 men some saline solution through an intravenous drip.
What happened, man? You just had no day.
Yeah, just dehydrated from walking too far. Heat's pretty crazy out here, carrying a lot of gear, so sometimes you just can't drink enough water. Just gotta lay down until lightheadedness and stomach cramps go away, and I'll push on.
You alright, Doc?
The searching and marking continues.
You already have a marking on your damn hand. Why'd you wash it off?
ليش مسحتها؟
Okay, come here. Tell him that he's got to be careful.
لا تمسحها هذه ولا تطلع برا.
تمسحها خليها 24 ساعة.
Tell him he cannot wash this off.
لا تمسحها ولا تغسلها حد باكر.
Tell him this for his safety.
Yeah.
As the day wears on, the soldiers start to lose their patience.
They're so fucking confused.
The troops are exhausted. As night falls, they head back to their makeshift base. The village is not yet secure, and they need to be up before dawn.
Crazy!
Today, the soldiers are going to search palm groves along the Diyala River.
Yeah, well, it's just our unit out here, but there's a different bunch of troops, and we all get generally online.
Yeah.
And we'll push through together with an asset, covering us as we move. Stuff like that. So, anyways out here, hopefully we can get them.
They believe that any insurgents who fled yesterday's searches could be hiding out here.
Usually we're not this close, but terrain dictates how close you are sometimes.
Mines, booby traps and IEDs are often placed in the palm groves. The rough terrain makes the search more difficult.
Probably gonna have to. Sergeant T. Break them up. Easy now. Somebody grab that. Did you see what that did?
Because of the surge, this whole unit and nearly all of the 160,000 US soldiers in Iraq have had their tour of duty extended by at least 3 months.
What's that?
How long can they keep you in the army?
I guess until my contract's up. After this is over, I'll have 17 months. When it's all said and done, I'll have 16 months.
When they talk about their time in the army, it sounds a little like jail.
Do you reckon they'll deploy you again?
No. When I get back, they'll hold me in for 90 days, and then I'll be released. I'll be able to get out. So, I don't know. We got extended that 3 months over here, so that extended everything 3 more months.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, I guess everyone's got to do their time. Jesus fucking Christ. You gotta be fucking shitting me. We're gonna head back to the road.
Yeah.
We can't move any further.
After several hours of searching, the soldiers reach a dead end.
You get used to it after a while.
The other force, you treat everybody with dignity and respect, and that shows them that you honor them, and they're looking forward to your presence here.
Later tonight, the US troops will leave the village in the hands of these Iraqi soldiers. They're being briefed by the operations commander, Lieutenant Colonel Potts.
The feedback we've gotten from the villagers throughout the whole area of Bad Max are they're very excited about you being here. They see you as a fair, impartial, unbiased that's going to bring and support the safety and security of the area.
The further up the chain of command you go, the more positive the soldiers seem to be.
So, Colonel, are you happy with the way things are going?
Oh, very happy. Yeah. As we projected out, I mean, as you know, with this operation, the intent was to clear. You started the genesis of what we saw throughout other villages. Al-Qaeda starting to come in, force out the Shia population, start to impose their own law. Since we caught it at the inception, we came in, we forced them out. As you saw yesterday, and working with both the route up here to been IED'd, they tried to isolate it. All things that our intel had told us. And in clearing the village itself, the villagers came forward, identified those Al-Qaeda that had remained here, those that had been left behind, to also inform for them.
Back in the relative safety of the soldiers' makeshift headquarters, I interviewed Captain Jesse Stewart. He spent most of his tour living in patrol bases in the Diyala River Valley.
Do you think there is the political will to sustain this level of troop numbers to carry out successfully this counterinsurgency program?
Well, that's obviously, I'm not back in the United States right now, so I can't accurately gauge the political will, but I can tell you that the people that are over here, especially my paratroopers, they do understand what we're doing, and they understand that, you know, regardless of the decision was right or wrong to come here in the first place, we can't just leave it like this. We've got to fix it. And to stop now would negate everything good that every soldier done that has died over here thus far.
Yeah. And here in Diyala, you see your main enemy as Al-Qaeda?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And what evidence do you base that on?
I mean, they're very public about it. They're very good at their IO campaign, information operation campaign, and they're very public about it. In this area, it is a somewhat, you know, Shia-dominated government, and so Al-Qaeda's kind of run with that to try and tell the people, the Sunni minority that's here in the area, that the Shias are against them and the government's against them.
This is the propaganda campaign the captain is talking about. An Al-Qaeda video found by soldiers in a recent house search in Diyala. It shows an Iraqi soldier being beheaded in public as a traitor, as villagers stand by watching. It's what the US Army says was happening here before it arrived. In September, the US military commander in Iraq, General David Petraeus, will return to Washington and report on the progress of the surge. Colonel David Sutherland commands the 1st Cavalry, which oversees operations in Diyala.
What do you think will happen to the situation here in Diyala?
Well, I support my chain of command, and if they make the decision to draw down, then the Iraqi security forces, the Iraqi government will have to react to that, but I will do what I'm told. Right now, I have a fight. The fight's in Diyala, and the fight's against Al-Qaeda, and that's what I'm focused on right now.
A massive military operation involving 16,000 soldiers is now underway in Diyala. Its stated goal is to finally deny the Diyala River Valley to Al-Qaeda as a safe haven. But in the blistering heat of an Iraqi summer, this is a last-ditch strategy by an army being pushed to its limit.